Are we live? Is this thing on? You bet your booty we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Big Draft Energy. It's your boy, Disco. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I know I'm having a phenomenal day. We're just waiting for this $3 mini to fill up. We're queued up right now. I believe it's at 8 out of 12. So we got room for four more people. But before we talk about the draft and before the draft fills, let's tell you guys what we're doing and where we're doing it at and how you could do it too. Oh, never mind. You can't do it because the draft filled up. So forget about it. I'm kidding. Antonio says, what up? What up, Antonio? Good to see you, brother. Bad Guys Official says, is this thing on? You know what's on, like Donkey Kong. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, yo, what up, buddy? And we got Timmy D in the draft with us. Finally, let's go. Let's go. All right. Oh, we got quite a few disco balls. Did we fill this? I think we filled this lobby. I don't know who Conrad A is. I don't know who that is. But Big Dan 99, what up, baby boy? Good to see you at the 101. Bad Guys Official at the 102. Fantasy Football Nonsense at the 103. Quasi, the two-time. He won first and second place in one of these tournaments last year. We used to call him Queso Dip, but there ain't nothing cheesy about him. He's drafting at the 105. Cool Daddy. Cool as a cucumber. Cerebral Assassin at the 106. What's up, brother? Antonio. Senor Buenesjo at 107. Ashen 1. My guy. My boy. My man, I'm pretty sure you've done 50 drafts in 2 days, 53 minis in 2 days. You're at 110 already, buddy. You are moving and grooving, and I love it. And you're at the 108, and you're right next to me. Yours truly at the 109, my brother, one of my favorite humans in the whole wide world, Big Elmac at the 110. How many drafts is this for you, Big Elmac? It's weird. It's looking like it's a fresh account, and there's no way it's a fresh account. Huh. Carl Ramrod, my boy, Jeremy, at the 111, and our newest addition to the squadron is Tim D, and he says, shout out to Jerry Judy. Shout out to Jerry Judy. I don't know why we're shouting him out, but shout him out. Let's go. Shout out to him. Quasi said, made it. Thank the Lord. Liam says, drafters wiped my whole account, ? I don't have any drafts anymore, and now I'm Big Elmac too. Allow me to speak to the devs. We'll get that sorted for you, brother. No problemo at all. You got to let me know those things. Because, I know them. They're my friends. We're like Facebook a fish kind of deal. You know what I mean? It's kind of a big deal. All right. Now, I'd tell you what we're doing and where we're doing it at and how you could do it too. We're in a drafters $3 mini. This is a real money draft. There is nothing mock about this. All right. This is a big ass tournament. We're competing in this particular draft against 74,160 other people. So you're going to see a little bit of different draft approaches where we're not necessarily taking the prototypical fantasy football team. We're building off of correlation based off of our drafts and our lineups. So this is a $3 mini where first place wins $30,000. There's $200,000 in total prizes. And I hope one of our disco balls wins because, you guys are all absolutely amazing. And what we've been doing, and what we've been doing a lot, and we feel it in our pockets, is the Drafters 2 million. It's a $20 buy-in where first place wins $300,000 and there's $2 million in total prizes. And there is a huge overlay. We're anticipating anywhere between 50 to 70% overlay here in this draft. I'm going to go AJ Brown. I have not taken AJ Brown in a really long time. So yeah, really, really huge overlay. Spectacular overlay, spectacular opportunity. And if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, sign up today using promo code DiscoDrafts1. We'll match your initial deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. And you get in there, Yeah, say you deposited $100. Well, you'll have $200 to mess around with. Come warm up with us in a couple of Drafters $3 minis, or even jump in with the Sharks right away in the Drafters $2 million. And if you sign up using promo code DiscoDrafts1, I will give you our $30 value best ball draft guide and overall draft guide. $30 value, completely free, completely complimentary, senors. And it is best ball format, which is the most convenient way for you to draft. You have 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. Each week, a starting lineup is composed of the following positions: 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex. At the end of the week, the best overall performances on your roster will be submitted to your weekly matchup. So no more leaving points on the bench, no more waiver wires, no more trades, none of that garbage. Get that garbage out of here. You literally just draft it and forget it, unless you're winning a really, really, really ridiculous amount of money, like life-changing amount of money. Stupid money. And 0 time commitment, which is like my favorite part. Fantasy football nonsense in the building. What up, Timmy D? My man's about to walk around and get a triple double right now. A double from Tim Hortons wouldn't be bad. All right, Saquon, let's go. We're getting weird. This is a weird start for us, but I like it. It's weird. 2 players I don't have a lot of exposure to. Last year, probably my 2 highest owned players. It's just weird how, like, when they move up in ADP, I'm like, maybe not this year. Maybe not. Can't rationalize it. Maybe not. Fantasy football nonsense said just auto drafted. Let's go. Who'd you take? CMC? Man, that's why, like, you gotta so I appreciate you parking the chat. It means a lot, but I also want you to, like, get your best possible drafts out there, brother. So, like, it's such, like, it's a much better experience on drafting on the PC than it is on the app. Like, the app is great, don't get me wrong, but, like, just drafting on a PC and a laptop, it's the best way to do it here, at least. Only way I'm taking CMC at the 3. Funny guy. Timmy D says this will be McCaffrey a last major year. He will go all out this year, pass game and rushing game, and even the throwing game. He will definitely be involved there. Fantasy football nonsense says Raw over Tay Madman. You're talking about Tim D? I don't know. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's profile, it's just better overall in terms of, like, grander scheme of things this year than Senor Adams. I think Jimmy G can get the ball to Adams. I think he can get it to him quite consistently. I don't think Adams is going to drop off significantly, but, like, just based off of ceiling and floor, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is, like, one of the safest picks, either, like, last in the first round or right around the bend. Fantasy football nonsense, love to see it. Tim D says similar to Eckler last year, he will go all out. Fair. Quasi says, Liam McKinnon, do you have anyone sharing your IP? I hope not. It's just on the browser on my app. I still have draft history, so not sure. Okay, we'll talk to. I'll talk to them tonight for you, or at some point tomorrow. All good now. Just worried I lost all those plays. Yeah, I'm worried you lost all those plays too, and I'm also worried that, like, it just doesn't make sense. We'll get you sorted, brother. Tim D says catching lots of balls. Adams is solid, but not confident in Raiders. I think, like, with Josh Jacobs, who, like, I'll tell you several reasons why I've been fading Josh Jacobs, and not just, like, the holdout scenario, because, like, that's also a contributing factor. One of the main reasons why I'm fading Josh Jacobs is based off of volume alone. Whoever is rushed for over 340 rush attempts or 340 touches the season prior tends to never repeat that kind of production ever again. It's kind of like the end of their season. And we've seen it with a lot of players in the past, and that's the trend that he's following. Like 100% of the time, every time, it works. If you see a player who rushed for 350 rush attempts or 350 touches, not named Derrick Henry, they have a tremendous drop off the following year. So that's why I'd rather get access to Zamir White later on, even though a lot of people are saying, oh, like, Josh Jacobs should be ready next week or the week after that. And I totally understand. I totally get it. And if he keeps falling, I might consider taking him just for, like, correlation purposes, but I'm not there yet. Ashton 1, you just sniped me there, brother. Good pick. Dang, you guys are going hard right now. Okay, we're going to go Jahmyr. I go again on my own. Jahmyr Gibbs. Weird start, I know. Let's go. Let's get weird. Jahmyr, I go again on my own. Jahmyr Gibbs, my man. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm like kind of fading Josh Jacobs. And then there's also the fact that like if you look at last year in the preseason, he was kind of like trying out like everybody else. He was getting volume in the preseason. So that is what benefited him in terms of having a tremendous season last year's. He had a lot of work, he had a lot to prove, and he had a lot going. He had a lot on the line, and like he was kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember the storylines, but like he was like on the cusp of potentially getting let go or cut, right? So if he doesn't have those football reps in training camp right now, he's not going to produce, and he's more likely to be injured with the volume that he took last year, and also with the lack of training camp practice with the team this year. So I'm just not there on him. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, if Aiden O'Connell's arm graces a football field this year, Tay is right back to top 3. Yeah. He looks like frick. What's that cop's name? Farva. He looks like Farva, and I love Farva. Leader Acola. Love me some Farva. All right. We'll take Christian Watson here. What a weird draft. I like it. We're here. Quasi says the problem with Adams is that he's a deep threat and Jimmy G just doesn't have the arm strength to support that. I don't know. I think like we might see more slant boy efforts from Davante Adams this year where he gets utilized in a lot more volume. I think the biggest beneficiary to Davante Adams last year, which was also the downfall to Derek Carr, is like it didn't matter who was on the field or what the coverage was. There was always like a moment in every series where Carr tried to take a shot down to Davante Adams. So he's gonna miss out on volume and volume alone, but he still has such a significant upside because like he's one of, if not the best route runners in the NFL. And if anybody's going to adjust, it's going to be him. And like every year he's counted out and hated on. Every year he comes out and he balls out. I think where Big Elmac got Davante Adams is an absolute steal. Quasi says he's still feast, but not in the same way. Yeah. And might be less overall yards, touchdowns. I agree with everything you just said there. Ashton one says, sorry, not sorry for sniping me. I appreciate you, bro. See, like I'm having an Ashton 1 kind of draft right now, and Ashton 1's having a disco kind of draft right now. It's like Freaky Fridays, but it's a Monday. Hashtag grr Mondays. Liam McKinnon says, I guess this account doesn't have any Jackson exposure, so I had to pull the trigger. Fair. I like it. Quasi's all in on Mark Andrews. I've been seeing Quasi draft Mark Andrews, not just in the $3 mini, but in the Drafters 2 millions as well. Tim D says, Fantasy Football Nonsense is going McLaurin. Did you go McLaurin? Oh, you called it. Wow. And he's laughing. You guys must know each other. Quasi said it's not a snipe. He has digs. Yeah, true. I didn't really pay attention to the correlation there. I haven't really been reading the room so far. I've kind of been like really enjoying this chat. It's nice to talk football with you guys. I enjoyed talking football with you guys. Trey S. What up, brother? Evening, brother. Finished my first redraft last night. Care to rate the squad? Absolutely. I would love to rate the squad, but before you do that, let me know where you drafted your redraft at, like what app. So Yahoo or Sleeper or wherever else. And then let me know if it's standard, half PPR, or PPR. Yeah, just let me know if there's anything cool there, and I would love to rate your squad. And then I would love to also draft with you here, brother. Would be super cool. Would be super gnarly. Welcome to the show and the channel. All right, we're back on the clock. We're going to go with Chris Godwin. That was more like a PPR volume kind of choice. I still love the upside of Tyler Lockett and him just being his absolute spike week freak. I just needed a safer floor, and I think Chris Godwin, even though his quarterback situation is absolutely atrocious, gives you a safer floor in this scenario just based off of our build. All right, Trey S. says, Yahoo, pick 2 of 12, full PPR, no super flex or premiums. Awesome. Willie says, howdy, fellas. Howdy, Willie. Trey S says, quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson. Running back, Ramondre Stevenson and Javonte. Flex, Waddle. Tight ends, Ingram. Bench, James Cook, Rashad White, Michael Pittman, Sky Moore, Rashad Penny, and Elijah Moore. I want to give that like a solid A, brother. That's a sick team. That's a really solid team because your flex option's absolutely phenomenal. And I think James Cook is probably going to be your RB2 more often than not. I think Sky Moore is going to be very beneficial, and where you got Michael Pittman's going to be solid. And Evan Ingram's the only question mark on your team, but we all know the upside that he presents. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, I'm going to need to send you some info in on this. I had a dialogue going on with Doc Morse on the running back topic. Liam said, you read my mind. Haha. Where? Very strange that Hawk got traded last year. Strange for mid-season trades in the NFL. And then he was unbelievably phenomenal. Not sure what the Lions were thinking. They were thinking Sam Laporta all the way, buddy. Sam Laporta supporter. If you're not a Laporta supporter, what are you doing with your life? Fix your life, kid. All right, we'll take Trevor Lawrence here. I probably should have taken like a Dameon Pierce, but we already got two really solid running backs. And I highly doubt the next guy I want is going to fall to me. I hope he does, but if he doesn't, it is what it is. We'll pivot. Swift is really good too. Not sure why the Lions can't figure it out. I don't know. I think the Lions are going with people who fit the mold of what they're trying to build. And I think like that tough, hard-nosed football is what they're going to play this year. And that's why I'm kind of like hesitant on Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. One, I don't know if Amon-Ra can like I want Amon-Ra to do well. I don't trust Jared Goff. I think like Malik Hooker in the future is going to be their guy. I'm not there on Jared Goff. He's the only thing holding me back from being all in on Amon-Ra. Anything like it's not an Amon-Ra St. Brown problem. It's a Jared Goff problem. Liam McKinnon says, I picked up Lockett right before you talked about his upside. Nice. Trey has said, thanks, man. Good luck this year. Good luck to you as well, brother. If you need any advice for like sit, starts, waiver wire, DFS, any of that stuff, so some nice pick'em lines here on Drafters Fantasy Sports where you can 100x your dollars on a weekly basis by tuning into Big Draft Energy on a regular basis. You let me know. You stay tuned. We'll be putting out a whole bunch of kind of content. Yeah, that seems like I'm tired. Jeremy Thiel says Laporta for Prime Minister. Hashtag Laporta supporter. Quasi says Mark Andrews could be a cheaper Kelsey and maybe go number one as we're very close to last year before he was injured after week 6. I also agree. And like one of my biggest like issues with Travis Kelce, and it's been my issue with Travis Kelce for the last 2 years, is like which year is going to be the year he's too old. And that like I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but he's getting there. He's definitely getting there. I don't think he has any more to prove. He's definitely getting there in age. I'm like Travis Kelce is one of those guys where like if he's available, you have to take him. But like you also have to be cautious that this might be the year that he's too old and the game's caught up to him. And it happens to everybody. Tim D said his dad is crazy, train him to be super out of this world athlete. Who are we talking about? Mark Andrews? Trey says, I'll definitely revisit you for the weekly start sits, my friend. My man, appreciate that. God bless you. And if you don't believe in God, then let the greater energy of the universe bless your soul and spirit. I really like your draft, though. It's a good draft. And if you know me, you know that Jamar Chase is probably like, you know how on draft day it said, was it something Mac, no matter what? No, not Alvin Mack. Alvin Mack is from he's from the program. But Mac, no matter what, Jamar Chase is mine no matter what. Oh no. Is that who I think it is? JC, my guy, my man, says, yo, to the crew. What's up, JC? How you doing, brother? Oh, we got him. We got the double stack. I think that's my first double stack of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery live on stream. Kind of giddy inside right now. Let's put it back to this. Tim D says Amon-Ra's dad. Noted. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, myself and at Best Ball Jonesy will be joining our good friends Patrick Pucci and Jay Sieg on a Twitter space, MySpace, MyFace. What the hell is it called? I'm still learning Twitter, man. Honestly, I'm still learning it. But like, it's like a live interview / football chat where you can actually tune in and set the reminder. I will be posting the reminder tonight in our Discord if you guys want to tune in. We'll be doing it at 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. It's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be a hell of a good time. Come in with your questions, and then we'll be right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, drafting here in a drafters. Probably two. I don't know if I want to do a mini or 2 milli tomorrow. We'll figure it out when we figure it out. But yeah, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And make sure you guys give my boys Jay Sieg and Patrick Pucci a follow. They've been very significant in our growth, not only in terms of like giving us a bigger platform to network on and like growing our channel, but they've just been super humble, super kind, and just anywhere we needed help, they've been there and provided it. So like, I'm very excited to finally speak to them and talk fantasy football with them. And like, I'm excited because like Jay Sieg is like, he's major fade on Jonathan Taylor. And I think this trade news is kind of good. I think it's kind of good for Jonathan Taylor. Do I think he's actually going to get traded? Absolutely not. I don't think he's going anywhere. I generally don't. All right. We'll take Sky Moore here. Just another upside pick. I mean, I wanted to go Michael Thomas or Kamara or Evan Ingram there, but I'm thinking to myself, this is a very unique team, and I might as well keep it unique. Amon-Ra's dad. Sieg. JC says yes. Siegel at Siegel 13 or Segal 13. I still don't know how to pronounce your last name, brother. You're probably going to punch me in the face, like via X, like Twitter. Antonio says, you talking JC Money Design? No, I'm talking Patrick Pucci, my man, Patrick Pucci, at Fantasy Football Patrick Pucci, and at JC at Segal 13. Those are my guys. Those are my people. Those are my dudes. JC Money's cool, man. I think JC Money's awesome. But like JC Money's like he's another acquaintance. Whereas like Jay Sieg and Patrick Pucci, those guys are family, man. Like I those are my dudes. They've been A1 since day one, and I'm not going anywhere. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, I'm over here drafting playoff sacks. Who'd you get? All right, you got CMC, Ridley, Debo, McLaurin, Ayuk. So nice little double stack with Debo and Ayuk. I like it. James Cook, Miles Sanders. All right, I like it. And you got CMC with that. All right, so we know who's trying to get Brock Purdy. Yes, sir. At JC, that's my guy. That's my boy. That's the Dawn. Sorry, I don't mean to do the New York impression. I know you're like a New York guy, but it's like my favorite accent on the planet. I think it's just like the coolest accent. It probably offends people, and I apologize, but like, my bad. I heard JC, and I thought you were talking about him. Nah, JC, like this, my man, the Dawn, Darnold. Fantasy Football Nonsense says Darnold. He's a funny guy. All right, in case you didn't know, you're about to know. And if you like the content, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the like button. But we are drafting here on Drafters Fantasy Sports. This is a real money draft. It is not a mock draft. Everything we do here has huge implications and ripple effects in the universe. It's not that deep, but it's kind of deep. So this is the Drafters $3 mini. It's a $3 buy-in. Everybody here has invested $3. So you know for 20 rounds, everybody's going to get their best shots on win and trying to create the deepest and best teams with stacks and correlation and just like super competitive. And it's super awesome. You're not drafting against freaking AI. Thank God. Sometimes I question Quasi. Quasi's like the advanced AI. The way that, like, if Quasi had an algorithm, he'd be the algorithm that is like Skynet that takes over the universe and the planet. Like, Quasi is Skynet because Quasi's he's out of this world. He's too smart for his own good. He's too smart for his own good. Like, he's by far, like, I've drafted with B. Kurt. I've drafted with Justin Herzig, and we got really big news to announce with Justin Herzig. I can't wait to announce it. I've drafted with them, and like Quasi is up there, and maybe even more cerebral in his approach. Anyways, shout out to Quasi, the two-time. That guy knows that he knows his shit. Like, everybody's placing third this year in every tournament because he's got first and second on lock. He proved it last year. But yeah, man, you're drafting against these 12 people in this particular lobby, but there's also 74,160 people in this tournament combined. So you're trying to get a unique lineup that at the end of the year will outscore everybody else's lineup on a weekly basis, and obviously like overall, because that's how it's scored. There's also the Drafters 2 million, where it's a $20 buy-in. It's a big dog thing. It's a big bite. So I would definitely ask you to warm up in the Drafters $3 mini. It's a $20 buy-in. First place wins $300,000. There's $2 million in total prizes to be redistributed. And the best part is there is a huge overlay. It is best ball format, which is the most convenient way to draft. And if you sign up today using promo code DiscoDrafts1, I will match your initial deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $100. All right. JC says, what up, nonsense? We got a little sidebar here. Fantasy football nonsense. What up, brother? JC's like, not much, bro. I'm blessed. You know, hashtag blessed. Fantasy football nonsense says, haha, laugh my booty off over here drafting BBMs like BlackBerry Messenger. Stacking playoffs, shake my head. Wow, Tim 1387. What did he do? He went St. Brown, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs. Okay. Jerry Jeudy, not bad for Josh Jacobs. Jerry Jeudy, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Oh, he did shout out Jerry Jeudy prior to the draft, so big major props there. He put it into the universe and he got him. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Darren Waller, I like it. Cortland Sutton. So he went with a 8-round bully tight end approach with Darren Waller and Kyle Pitts, which is kind of nice. It's a really nice bully tight end approach. Kadarius Toney and Zach Charbonnet. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So I'm hoping tomorrow I finalize the sponsorship with a nice jersey giveaway. Hopefully it works. Hopefully the sponsorship for this jersey giveaway goes great. But I'm hoping the jersey we give away is a signed Hines Ward Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. Now, I'm not a Steelers guy. I know a couple people who are a Steelers guy, but I think that would be a pretty dope jersey to just own. Now, mind you, it's a large, so I can't wear it. And you probably shouldn't wear large or signed jerseys, like official signed jerseys. But I think it's pretty gnarly. I think it's pretty sweet. And, hopefully we can announce the giveaway and the partnership with JC tomorrow night and with Patrick Pucci and Best Ball Jonesy. Best Ball Jonesy, guys, has a nice freaking voice. That voice is like, it's like a mixture of Fergie and Jesus. Like when Jonesy speaks, that's what you hear. Fergie and Jesus. I know it's not my, yeah. And it's a large jersey, so it's super cool. And it's completely free to enter the giveaway. So hopefully everything works out and I'm not just like hyping it up. Hopefully like we can give y'all some really cool, things. And shout out to Football Chalk. Those are our future partners. If you guys haven't heard of them, you're about to hear a lot about them because they're up and coming and they're sweet. Oh, wow. Dirty Mike and the boys. Thanks for the F Shack. says, shout out to Disco Nation, my man. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, Mikey Dubs. He did win one of our giveaways, so shout out to him. JC said, would be dope. You're dope, my friend. You're dope. Ashen One is a Steelers guy. Good to know. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know about that about you. Go Pats. Go Pats. Quasi says better than mine. Are you talking about Jonesy's voice? Nah, man. Like if you two were to sing and harmonize, or just say like the word disco and harmonize, like the world would implode. Like it would create a black hole of awesomeness and voicingness, and it would just be like the craziest thing. Because your voice is up there. Your voice is definitely up there. Top 3 voices of all time. But yeah, man, I heard Jonesy speak, and I'm like, wow, I did not expect you to sound like this. We don't. Oh, we got a 10. We're doing all right. I might just take Tyler Algier here and say we're good at running back, and just get sick value at the wide receiver position from here on out. So let's try it out. Let's see how that goes. Jay Thiel says Jonesy's voice equals hearing the Beatles for the first time. No, man, Beatles suck. I'm kidding. But yeah, the Beatles suck. I'd much rather like compare it. It's like hearing Boys to Men harmonizing in Motown Philly for the first time. That's what Jonesy's voice is like. And if you appreciate soul and real like vocal like gravitas, that's Jonesy. Jonesy's got a lot of vocal gravitas. I'm telling you, man. Like when he speaks, it's like God, but it's not actually. It's just like his voice. It's like so. That was like the most blasphemous thing I ever said in my entire fucking life. Fantasy Football Nonsense says Steelers. We gotta see my guy Cam in here. Massive Steelers fan. Please tell me you're a Patriots fan. I know you're from Boston. I went to Boston in the car. Came back in a car. I love that. Fantasy Football Nonsense says yes. Would probably sound like a combination of Jesus and Fergie. Facts. Total facts. But yeah, as I said, Quasi, like not only is he like a brilliant drafter and just like a brilliant human being in general, and shout out to Triple X Berry, the drink of fantasy football best ball tournament champions, vitamin water. Sponsor the kid. Let's go. We need to like next giveaway put hashtag sponsor the kid or vitamin water Triple X. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute long shot. But I'm going to put together like 7 to 10 clips of me shouting out vitamin water and telling them to sponsor the kid. Because like every time we're live, we are drinking this vitamin water. Pinkies up, motherfuckers. We are always drinking vitamin water, especially Triple X, especially since Quasi told us Triple X is the drink of champions. When he won first and second place, what like gave him that inspiration to draft these winning teams was in fact Triple X Berry vitamin water. So I'm going to send them a letter. I'm going to send them a video of me shouting them out, and I'm going to put it out in the universe, and hopefully they sponsor the kid because they don't have an affiliate program. They don't. But like that would be cool. That would be super dope. Me, no doubt, flying Elvis. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. Is that like a euphemism for like a sex position? What the fuck is a flying Elvis? Oh, towards his later years, there was definitely no flying unless he had a lot of gas because he was a big boy. Oh, wow. You guys are like, okay, we don't want Disco to get any sort of wide receiver value whatsoever. So we're just going to keep taking all the wide receiver value. So I'm going to have to start reaching. That's what I'm going to have to do. But like, I also don't want to reach because I want to try to take best available. But you guys are giving me no choice. Patriots. I've never heard the Patriots logo referred to as the flying Elvis. That's got to be a Boston thing, and I feel like I'm more of a Bostonian now than ever before. Shout out to Pats Nation. I need to know. I need to know, fellas. Who's your favorite NFL team? Put it in the chat. Put your favorite NFL team in the chat. We know that Ashton Ones is the Pittsburgh Steelers, so shout out to Ashton One and his Pittsburgh Steelers. But yeah, I would love to know who's everybody's favorite NFL team. Let me know. Jonathan Siegel says Flying Elvis equals honeymoon in Vegas, late Jimmy Can, Nick Cage. Football Nonsense says, Google it, brother. More you know. Okay. Thank you guys for the education. Liam says Packers. That Reed pick from Tim D hurt. Yeah, it hurt me too. All right, I guess best available is Donovan Peoples-Jones at wide receiver. It just might be. All right, weird. All right, we'll take him. Let's do it. Liam, how do you think your Packers are going to do this year, bud? Like overall in the conference, what placement do you think your Packers are going to have? And then also, I want to know what you think their final record's going to be. Jeremy Thiel says Bills Mafia. I hate to say it, but Bills are my favorite for the Super Bowl. Bad Guys Official says, how about them Cowboys? All right, let's hear it. Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl this year, guys. I'm going to say it for you. Guys, everybody, the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. That's what he wants. He wants you guys to know that. Shout out to Cowboys fans. Antonio says, Jets. All right, all we need is a Dolphins fan here, and we'll have like the ultimate divisional rivalry. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, I can talk shop with anyone about their teams, follow them all, love the educated banter. It's good shit. Quasi says, I don't have one and barely watch games. This is like the most prototypical Quasi response. Okay, Quasi, who's your favorite fantasy football player of all time in all of the years you've been playing fantasy football? And whoever that guy is, that's your team. All right? Bad Guys Official says, but have Bill season tickets. What a place to party, man. I love going to Buffalo for a football game. I love it. But just like the last couple of years, it's been tough because the Patriots have been playing in like minus like 35 temperature. That's for us Canadians. I don't know what the fuck that is to you Americans. You guys do everything backwards. But yeah, that's like minus 32, minus 35 for us. And like it's just unbearable. There's no reason to be outside in that weather. And like my brown complexion cannot cope with that. Quasi says rarely. Toure is still out there. Go get him. No thanks. Bills are a cool fan base. Absolutely. And you know what? They were so nice. I was there in a Patriots uniform and they were so nice. And they're like, you're a really big guy. We don't want to mess with you. And they were super kind. Liam McKinnon says, I'm giving us 6 wins. So 2 less than last year. Wow. I have a completely different take on your Packers. I think your Packers are going to finish second in the division behind the Bears. I think they're going to go, I want to say 10-7. 10-7, and then they're going to squeak into the wild card and make the playoffs. Antonio says your favorite. So Antonio's favorite fantasy football player of all time is Tom Brady. That's crazy for fantasy. His favorite fantasy football player of all time is Tom Brady. Frick, I've never asked myself that question. Who's my favorite fantasy football player of all time? Honestly, like up until last year, I've been like a subpar fantasy football guy. But last year, like I got sick and tired of like losing because like I'm not diving into the research and getting the advanced analytics and taking my takes. And so last year was my best year ever. We went from a bronze on Yahoo, if that means anything, to a fucking platinum. We're plat. And I'm going to say it's due to Jalen Hurts, who I'm fading this year. But Jalen Hurts is my favorite fantasy football player of all time because like I had Jalen Hurts in almost every one of my redraft leagues, and like he did me good. My favorite player in general, that's not on the Patriots, because like honestly, like other than Demario Douglas, there's not much to talk about unless you're talking about the defense. my favorite player in general to watch is Saquon Barkley. I think he's so good for football, and I'm happy he's playing. Fantasy Football Nonsense says Packers are going to roll. They're going to have to run the rock, and they got the team to do it. They got the defense there. Their defense should be the best defense in that division. Lions defense has improved, but they're still garbage. Vikings defense only got worse in terms of personnel, even though they brought in a pretty decent defensive coordinator. The Bears defense has improved drastically, especially in the front seven. So teams are not going to be running the rock the way they did last year. And on the back end, they should be decent, but like the Bears are just going to outscore people, and they're going to bruise them with the run game too. It's going to be crazy. Liam says, "Oh, trust me, I won't say what I actually think, but won't bring them any bad juju by getting cocky." Well, I'll be completely honest. I think the Patriots could potentially make the playoffs this year as a wild card team, and this is not delusion. I think they're going to play such a boring style of football, and then allow Bill O'Brien to tee up, like really depending on the run and the defense, and then allowing Bill O'Brien in very significant clutch moments to queue up some big passing plays to either Demario Douglas or Demario Douglas. 5 best rappers of all time. Dylan. That's how I feel about Demario Douglas. And they might squeak in because they're going to play every game very close. They play a very sound style of defense, and they're going to try to control the time of possession. The only thing that would be holding the Patriots back is Mac Jones. Can Mac Jones be a good game manager and learn how to be a good pro, collect his poise in the pocket? Yeah. Bad Guys Official says Marshall Faulk, fantasy god. Yeah. Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles. That was a spectacular year. Eric Decker. Antonio says Eric Decker, the year he was on the Jets, killed it for me. Nice. Fantasy Football Nonsense. I have a great group chat with my buddies from Badger, Packer, Vikings buddies from Scotty called the Kings of the North, and they say the same thing. What's the same thing? Liam says, I love me some Quay Walker, and your defense has improved drastically as well. Van Ness should be a significant contributor in not just the pass rush, but he should also be a significant contributor in the run stop. He's a freak. Liam says, let's hope they learned from last year. Let's hope we all learned from last year. Antonio said, did you see Mike White in concussion protocol? No, I did not. What happened to him? Fantasy Football Nonsense says, I agree, 8 and 9 with the defensive coordinator calling offense. They have 2 above average tight ends. Just watched 2011 Pats, the BOB 2 tight end offense is back. Yeah, I mean, like, I would not say Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki can hold the candle to Aaron Hernandez and Robert Gronkowski. I'd like to tell you guys a good Aaron Hernandez story. The year he signed with Puma, got his big contract deal, I was like a big fan. I loved the style of, like, obviously, like, off-field situation aside, which, none of us knew about at the time. I liked the way he played, and like he was taking snaps as a running back as well, which was so cool. So I got me a Aaron Hernandez jersey. It's the first. So like I used to buy like knockoff jerseys. It's the first like official jersey I ever bought in my entire life. A week after the jersey arrived at my house, he's on the news. Patriots got him. Bad deal. Fantasy football, that's my Aaron Hernandez story. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, I think Bills take a step back as much as I like Allen. I think Bills win the Super Bowl this year. Jordy Nelson was a beast. Yeah. He was probably like the... I like Jordy. I like Jordy a lot. I will say the fantasy football player I hate the most, there's 2 of them. The 2 fantasy football players I hate the most is Trent Richardson year 2, when he got traded from Cleveland to Indianapolis, and Michael Thomas the year after his like record-breaking season. Those are my 2 most hated fantasy football players of all time. Michael Thomas has burnt me so much so much. Jamie Thiel says Rodgers, Jordy Nelson stack. Yeah, that was a fire stack. Fantasy Football Nonsense says they don't want to jinx the new pack. They're going to run the rock. They're going to run the rock and play good defense. I tend to like those teams. If you can control the football, take the ball away, because like they got Jair out there at the cornerback position. Like that's a good, like in redraft format in particular, like that's a good sneaky defense that you could probably get in one of the last 2 rounds. If you are taking a kicker and a defense in your redraft leagues, if your redraft leagues have kickers and defense, if you're taking a kicker in your redraft leagues and a defense in your redraft leagues before the last 2 picks, you need to fix your shit, fix your life, figure it out. That's the worst. Fantasy Football Nonsense says I played semi-pro against the guy he unfortunately murdered, Odin Lloyd. Not so fun fact. That's crazy. That's crazy. What position did you play? What position did you play? I bet you I could take you. Even to this day, I bet you I could take you. Line up in front of me, 1-on-1. Let's go. Lightweight. All right, we need a quarterback. Man, I've been getting Mac Jones a lot lately here. All right, we'll take Mac Hollins, and then we'll take best quarterback available on the way back around, if any of them should fall to us. And yeah. Antonio says, I haven't played with kicker or team D in like 5 years. Yeah, I mean, like, there's this one fantasy football league that I'm in that's like traditional, and it's because I've been with these guys forever, right? I've been drafting with these guys forever, and it is PPR. We tried IDP 1 year. That was weird. We tried like super weird, like I think it's good to have one traditional league to remind you where you came from, right? It's cool. It's cool. It's all right. Jeremy Thiel says Tucker just went 5th round in my redraft. Is there like a kicker premium? Is it a kicker only league? Those are weird. Fantasy Football Nonsense says linebacker edge. I call pancake. Pancake. Right now. Like, let's line up. Pancake. My kick step. Pancake. All day. I love it. Jeremy Thiel says non-PPR league. Yeah, I mean, fantasy football's Nonsense says I got held a lot. I don't hold. I deliver people to God. If you line up in front of me, you are going to meet your maker. I will deliver you, like, and it's like, it's not personal. Like, if it was my mother and she lined up in front of me, that was the mentality. I'm delivering you to God. Jeremy Thiel says established 1982. I mean, you're going to win your league this year because you have been drafting with us here in this best ball format, and you have an idea of what true ADP looks like, PPR or non-PPR. Like you've had how many 2 millions have you done? I know you've done 56 of these. You only need 10 of them to like really crush your redraft league. So good for you. And if you haven't done so, sign up on Drafters Fantasy Sports so you could draft with us in these real money drafts using promo code DiscoDrafts1. We'll match your initial deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Friendly reminder, all transactions are done in US dollars. And most importantly, it's available in Ontario. Shout out to Ontario and all my Ontario peeps. Fantasy Football Nonsense says picked Young over Hurst. What a mistake. My auto turns on all the time on mobile. Yeah, man. I wouldn't say my auto turns on all the time on mobile. I think there's a way that you can like turn on notifications so you can get the notification when you're on the clock. But I highly recommend, if you're going to tune into the stream and draft, maybe like have us on like a TV or a laptop, or like have the stream on your phone and then have the draft on the laptop. Drafting on the laptop is so much easier. It's like you get to see everything at all times. I don't think there's like a way you can see the big board on the app. I could be mistaken. I'm still trying to figure out the app, but like I could be mistaken. We're going to take Ryan Tannehill here. Don't have a lot of exposure there. Don't want a lot of exposure there, but whatever, we'll do it. And then, what the hell do I have at tight end? Dulcich and Freiermuth. Interesting. And I think I'm all right with Quasi. Take it from the two-time who drinks the drink of champions. Triple X Berry. Acai blueberry pomegranate. I don't know why I always sound like I'm a Quebecois when I say that. You want to put Poutine? Steeler. Quasi says desktop drafting over mobile drafting all day. Like it's doable. It's doable, but like they put a lot of effort into the computer version of this app and this site, and it's so worth it to like. I definitely draft better drafting here, and like I also have like all my tools, my draft guides, like all that, my pivots. So I have all that in front of me. Big L Mac, I know you just got the draft guide. What do you think of it, buddy? Let me know. All right, last pick is Demario Douglas available. I think I might go with a third tight end here. Let's go. Hopefully I didn't. Yes, got it. We're gonna go with Adam Trutman. Do you guys want grades for today? Fuck, that's what 11 grades. Let's not do grades today. Do you guys want grades? Let me know. I'll give you guys a moment. Bad Guys Official says, I did one mobile draft and I hated it. Desktop all the way. Absolutely. Tim D said he just picked the winner. Okay. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, do it. Jeremy Fields says, always. Liam McKinnon says, draft tools are great, but I got thrown off early in this one. All right. Quick style grades. All right, cool. Figured out my account issues already, so it's all good. Okay. Game Pick Podcast Network. What's up, buddy? He says, love your consistency, bro. Hey, man, I appreciate you. I love you tuning in and supporting here. And if you guys are not subscribed, it's always good to show love and subscribe. It's free to do so. Shout out to Game Pick Podcast Network. God bless you guys. Ashton once says a lot of correlation today. All right, we're doing grades. We're doing grades because you guys are the best nation on the planet. Shout out to Disco Ball Nation. You guys are freaking awesome. Will I give out an A today? Who knows? All right, we'll start from the front and then save the best for last, which is me. Let's start with Big Dan. Big Dan goes Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Travis Etienne. So Big Dan's using our draft guide. I know that for a fact. Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, AJ Dillon, and I like the double stack there. I really like the double stack with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I'd like more of it, but I just don't get it. Kenneth Gainwell, Zamir White. So quarterback, A. Running back, A. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, Michael Wilson, Robert Woods. B+ at the wide receiver position. Tight end, Tyler Higbee, Sam Laporta, Michael Mayer. I would give you a B- there. So overall, B+. Great draft, Big Dan. Great draft. All right, let's look at Bad Guys Official. My guy, my dude. Fantasy Football Nonsense says was supposed to be Hurst. It's okay. It's okay. That kind of correlation, that kind of like little bit of, getting unique exposure on your first draft. It's brilliant. Antonio says, my team sucks. I highly doubt it, brother. I highly doubt it. You're a freaking shark. All right, at the quarterback position, Bad Guys Official goes with Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. Okay, A+ at the quarterback position. Running back, he goes Jonathan Taylor, Isaiah Pacheco. Ooh, then a big drop-off. Jalen Warren, Zeke, Ty Chandler, Chase Brown. I like the Rico Dowdle pick, but I'm noticing that you're getting him a lot, which is cool. And the only reason why I'm against you getting him a lot is because I want more exposure to him. And I keep reminding myself, last overall pick, Demario Douglas, Troutman, or Dowdle. and like Dowdle's never there because you always take them. Noted. So running backs, I would give you a B minus. There's a lot of red flags in here and a lot of handcuff correlation that would need to hit. But I'm expecting your wide receivers to be absolutely spectacular and your tight ends. So wide receiver, Jamar Chase, Drake London, Quentin Johnson, Michael Thomas, Rashee Rice, Van Jefferson, Richie James, Joshua Palmer, Quez, Watkins, B+. Tight end, Dallas Goedert, Dalton Kincaid, also a B+. So all in all, your running backs really brings your grade down to a B, just a straight up B. Yeah. Fantasy football nonsense. Let's see what happened. So he went with a 3-7-7-3 build. Okay. Quarterback Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, Bryce Young. Running backs, so that Bryce Young was supposed to be Hurst, right? Okay. Running backs, he goes CMC, James Cook, Miles Sanders, Elijah Mitchell, Chuba, Joshua Kelly, and Cordell Patterson. So you got the Elijah Mitchell CMC double stack, you got the Miles Sanders and Chuba double stack, and you got James Cook in there too. That's solid. That's very solid. Your floor is absolutely spectacular there. I want to give that an A. Wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Jones, Isaiah Hodgins, Jalen Hyatt. I like Calvin Ridley and Deebo on the same team. I absolutely love that. And I see that you got CMC, Brock Purdy, Elijah Mitchell, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. Didn't get the tight end there. Lots of correlation. Tight end, Evan Ingram, David Njoku, Daniel Bellinger. So I like Daniel Bellinger as like a last round dart throw because I don't anticipate Waller's going to be healthy the whole year. So the weeks that Waller's off, he gives you a unique advantage. All in all, the roster construction is the only issue with me. Other than that, I want to say B minus. And that's probably because you just had like a lot of like shitty things happen along the way. All right, let's look at the two-time Quasi. Already an A+, like he wins every time. 2-7-9-2. I haven't seen him go 2-7-9-2 before. Quarterback Justin Fields, my favorite quarterback in these drafts. I haven't been getting any of them lately. CJ Stroud, okay. Running back Damian Pierce, J.K. Dobbins, Khalil Herbert, Tajay Spears, Kyron Williams, Deneric Prince, Keontae Ingram. So he must have went 0 RB. First RB in what, the 7th round, 6th round. Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Elijah Moore, Nico Collins, Darnell Mooney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Rashid Shaheed, Tank Dell, tight end Mark Andrews, and Chig Ozim Okonkwo. It's a B+, B. That's a good team. Cool Daddy. This guy always crushes it. He goes 3-5-8-4. Ooh. Unique New York. Fantasy Football Nonsense says Herbert. What are you, a fucking rabbit? Or a rabbit, a frog? What are you? I'm fucking tired. Quarterback, he goes Anthony Richardson, Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett. Yes, he can. Running back, Austin Eckler, Javonte Williams, James Conner, Antonio Gibson, Devon Achane. Solid. Devon Achane looked good. Not gonna lie, he looked good. He looked really explosive. Like Chris Johnson, explosive. And like I've been giving Knifey slack about being high on him. He looked good. Wide receiver, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf to stack up with Geno, Mike Williams, Deontay Johnson to stack up with Kenny Pickett, Alan Lazard, Paris Campbell, Josh Downs to stack up with Anthony Richardson, Calvin Austin also to stack up with Kenny Pickett. I'm not there on Austin. Tight end, Cole Kmet, Jake Ferguson, Tyler Conklin, Noah Fant to stack up with Geno. It's good. B minus. All right, Antonio, bonus hole. He said this draft sucks. I doubt it. He goes 3-6-8-3. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo at the quarterback position. I don't think you needed Jimmy G. I'll be completely honest. I don't think you needed Jimmy G, especially with Cousins and Rodgers there. So overall, A at B+ at the quarterback position. Running back, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Roschon Johnson, Leonard Fournette. I'm going to give that an A-. That's a good running back room, like a really good running back room. I like it. And you got the double stack here. So you're protecting your Alvin Kamara situation with Jamal Williams, which is absolutely brilliant. Wide receiver, you go Amari Cooper. I hate him. DeAndre Hopkins, hate him. Mike Evans, I don't hate him. I don't love him. Jahan Dotson, love. Jacoby Myers, meh. DJ Chark, Darius Slayton, Allen Robinson, B minus. Tight ends, Travis Kelce, Jawan Johnson, Dawson Knox, A plus. A plus at the tight end position. So overall, I'll give you a B. Ashton 1. At the quarterback, he goes Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa. You could have been fine with just 2 here. And he also added Kyler Murray. He goes with a 3-6-8-3 build. So yeah, A plus at the quarterback position for sure. Running back, he goes Alexander Madison, Dalvin Cook, Rashad Penny, Raheem Mostert, Donta Foreman, Deion Jackson. This is very unlike you, Ash. Very unlike you. Wide receiver, yeah, that makes sense. Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Jordan Addison, Rondell Moore, Alec Pierce, Curtis Samuel, Greg Dortch. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson, Taysom Hill, Zach Ertz. So you got Ertz, Dortch, Rondell Moore, Kyler. You got Josh Allen, Diggs. I'm not shocked you took Taysom Hill here. I'm never shocked when you take Taysom Hill here. Yeah, good draft. I would give that a solid B plus. Solid B plus. All right. We got Tim. My man Tim. He goes 3-6-8-3, very safe. He goes Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Desmond Ridder. I want to give that a B minus. I really like Desmond Ridder's upside, and he looked great in his preseason game this past weekend. The interception was not his fault. Running back, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Zach Charbonnet, Jerome Ford. I like the double stack with Nick Chubb. Good way to protect him. It would have been nice had you got Zamir White to protect Josh Jacobs. I like Zach Charbonnet. Deuce Vaughn, I'm there with you. Kareem Hunt, I'm worried. I'm worried because I got quite a bit of exposure to Kareem Hunt and nothing there. We got some chats. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, love the Prince free roll. Yeah. Generic Prince is solid. Bad Guys Official says, HA has hurt shoulder week to week. Yeah, but he's going to be fine. It's the same thing as Charbonnet. Charbonnet looked sharp. Antonio said Jimmy G was an auto. Makes sense. You're a sharp drafter. How do we feel about CeeDee Lamb hitting 1,500 plus receiving yards this year, plus 650? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to say over. I don't want to say under. It's one of those ones where I'm not going to touch because it could hit. But like everything the Cowboys have done this offseason, with coaching, with roster construction, everything means they're going to run the rock a little bit heavier and rely more on like dink and dunk pass plays. I see CeeDee Lamb being utilized more like a Devontae Adams and like the medium routes. I know Adams is like a deep ball killer, but it could happen. And they also added Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks is like another one of those like deep threat guys. And there's only one football to be spread out amongst those three or two guys. There's also Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert there. I'm going to say I'm out on that. I'm not going to personally bet on it. I'm out on it. I'm not touching it. Quasi says Cooks might spoil that bet. Yeah. Great minds. Ashton one says Hill. Always Hill. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, would you like to see more Felton Flyers in full PR format given Ford's hamstring? Sure. Don't do it, Kevin. Good call. Patriots are going to be ramming Stevenson and Zeke down teams gut, and they will fold and take over the trenches. That's what we've been saying, buddy. It's good seeing you here, Kev. We got to get you to draft with us. Jeremy Thiel says 1,200 yards for Lamb is gold. I even think like 1,350 is doable. I would take the over on 1,350. 1,500s, that's like top wide receiver, like the number one wide receiver. And I just don't think like this is the year where they do that. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, love Tolbert this year. I don't. All right. Back to Tim D's team. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cortland Sutton, Kadarius Toney, Marvin Mims. Love the Marvin Mims pick. A lot of correlation at the wide receiver position with Russell Wilson. Jonathan Mingo, Jaden Reed. And you stop drafting wide receiver relatively early. Tight end, Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts. and Isaiah Likely. I think it's a good call to bring in an Isaiah Likely when you get that bully tight end approach with Waller and Kyle Pitts, because both of them could re-aggravate an injury. There are red flags there. Obviously, like, and everybody's like susceptible to being injured. It's just like, I think it's a good call. If that's the that's the bully tight end approach you're going with these two particular names, it's good to get a third one in that group. I think you would have been fine without Ritter and adding like another wide receiver, but I also like Ritter there. I do. I think it's a good draft. I'd give that a B. Fantasy Football Nonsense says all Cooks, Gallup, and Lamb builds should have free Tolbert correlated. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But then you're like kind of like punting fantasy football in general by going like so bullish on one team in particular. I think that last pick should either be a tight end or a quarterback, a starting quarterback. Going elite quarterback relatively early in the first 5-6 rounds. This is my new approach, my new style. Going elite quarterback relatively early. First 5, 6, 7 rounds. Going 2 quarterback builds, taking a nice quarterback flyer later on. Quarterback Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. Nice, Liam. That's a A. Running back Bijan Robinson, Najee Harris, Tank Bigsby. Big drop off from Najee to Tank, but Tank looked good. Jerick McKinnon, we know what he can do. Devin Singletary and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I like it. B plus at the running back position. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, Tyler Lockett, Zay Flowers, Romeo Doubs. Jameson Williams, Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow, Chase Claypool, Corey Davis, Wan'Dale Robinson, tight end. George Kittle, Luke Musgrave. I like that team. I would give that team like a B plus. Carl Ramrod, oh my God, there's so many of you, and I love it. I'm so grateful. Kevin Valentine says Aaron Hernandez was a GOAT. Dude was legit, playing RB at times. Great TD Sally and making absolutely. Fantasy Football Nonsense says there's a likely probability one of Lamb, Cooks, or Gallup misses some time, and when he's going free, there's no risk. Why is there a likely probability there? Elaborate. Last pick, he goes undrafted for sure. But like, I want to know like why you assume or why you're saying that there's a probability of Lamb, Cooks, or Gallup missing time, because like I have a lot of exposure to all of those guys. So Carl Ramrod goes Goff, Jordan Love, Sam Howell. Running back, he goes Ramondre, Joe Mixon, Rashad White, Brian Robinson. That's an A plus running back room. Jeff Wilson, Chris Evans, Latavius Murray. Yeah, you didn't need Latavius Murray or Chris Evans. And you could have been fine with Jared Goff and Jordan Love, but I understand the Sam Howell need because you got B-Rob the Mob there. Wide receiver, you go CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Gabe Davis, George Pickens, Brandon Cooks, Odell Beckham Jr., KJ Osborne, Devontae Parker, tight end, Hunter Henry, Hayden Hurst. Yeah, very unique. I will say that, very unique. Roster construction, the way you combine players. I want to give it a B. All right, let's look at my team. Last but not least, Antonio's saying, peace. Antonio, why are you leaving me? I'm not done. He's like, boo, get off the stage. Start playing the background music and send me off during my acceptance speech. Jeez. Quarterback, we go Trevor Lawrence, Ryan Tannehill. Running back, we go Saquon. Jameer, I go again on my own. David Montgomery, so we got that double stack finally. Samaje Perine, Damian Harris, Tyler Algier. Wide receiver, we go A.J. Brown, Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Sky Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, John Mechie, Justin Ross, Khalil Shakir, Matt Collins. Tight end, we go Pat Freiermuth, and then we do like a little bit of a double stack with Greg Dulcich and Adam Troutman. Adam Troutman, somebody who I'm trying to get at more and more in these best ball drafts, especially as like a last round dart throw, because I like his upside. He has tremendous upside. Antonio says, I'm falling asleep, but I'll stay for your team. I appreciate you. What do you think of my team? I'm just waiting for It's Amigo to just pop up and be like, hey man, I really like your team. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, how often do all three of a team's starters not miss a single game? It's not exclusive to the Cowboys, but look at it similar to your Aguilar stance. Noted, but like my Aguilar stance is based off of like historically. A Bad Guys official says Disco takes all the players I like. I'm sorry, I'm not. So yeah, my Aguilar stance is based off of like historically speaking, Bateman has been injury ridden, Odell Beckham Jr. has been injury ridden, and the same thing with my Joshua Palmer take. I like him because Mike Williams can't stay healthy, and neither can Keenan Allen. So like Tolbert doesn't strike me as somebody in a similar situation. Brandon Cooks last year wasn't really injured; he just didn't want to fucking play for Houston anymore. And like, I think a lot of people are just like forgetting that fact. And CeeDee Lamb, he's pretty durable. Gallup's the only guy who's got injury question marks, but he looks healthy and he looks like he's now 2 years removed from that big injury. Anyways, folks, God bless you. Appreciate you. Love you. If you're not tuning in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the live discussion with Jay Sieg and Patrick Pucci, it's totally fine. You can also catch us at 8 p.m. Eastern time here on our channel. I will share the link for that live discussion tomorrow with you folks in our Discord, and then you can also catch me on Twitter. See you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I appreciate y'all. God bless you, and have a wonderful day. Happy Monday.